But this guy had only one chair in that one room that he freaking rented. Do not let Tina get married, because if she get married, whoever marries her, the guy is gonna die the next day. If you see how this tutor ran when he heard that. The guy picked up his bag and ran like a freaking masquerade was chasing him, literally.
Some people, they may envy you, follow you on Insta just to pre you. The way they go chat rubbish, the way they...
Hey, my beautiful aunties, how are you all doing today? As for me, I'm doing fantabulous. Thanks for asking. Today is a Chinese food mukbang, because why not, right? We got everything here. We have different 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 14 different items on the agenda on the menu today. We got fish, we got orange chicken, we got the spicy beef, we got mango chicken, we got veggie rolls, we got potato, we got everything. I know you want to see it up close and personal. I know you want to come closer. This is how it looks. Yum. You're gonna eat some, okay? So before we start, let us pray. Father, in Jesus' name, thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. Thank you, God, for this food. Thank you for my viewers. Thank you for everyone. Bless this food, oh Lord, for Christ's sake. Those that do not have, please provide for them. Those that have, keep providing for them. Let this video bring wonderful smiles and laughter and joy to people's hearts and faces today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And today I'm going to be drinking Coke. Yeah. I actually have coconut water, but I don't feel like coconut water today. So, what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today, I'm glad you guys enjoyed my story time the last time. So today's going to be another story time. So, I have a question. How far will you go in terms of looking for love? Like to what extent will you go in terms of you finding true love? Especially like with rich people, or like kings and princes, and you know. Let me say this before we continue. I know in my jollof rice video, people were like, oh, it's rude that he's reaching out across the camera. You know, he wasn't featured in the video, that he was reaching out to take his food. Like, oh, it's rude and stuff. Listen, in the mukbang world, there are a lot of rude behaviors, okay? For example, like people like freaking burping and people smacking or whatever. Like a lot of things that you shouldn't really do in the real world that a lot of mukbangers do. So when we're talking about rude, there's everything rude in mukbang, like eating big food, talking while you're eating, a lot of good stuff. So let's not talk about someone reaching across to pick food off as rude. So if you don't like it, I apologize. Please exit, because that's gonna be happening. And if this is not, I'm not the first person doing it. Other people, for example, Stephanie Sue, you can go check her out. Our fiance, nobody knows how he looks like. He just reaches across the table. I'm not trying to be like, I'm just using that as an example. It's not all the time that people want to be in your video. So that's that. Anyway, so like I was saying, people like go to a lot of extent to find real love, especially like well-to-do people, like rich people, which I don't blame them, because like the first thing someone will see, either a guy or a girl, if you're rich, obviously you're not really is what you have, right? Like you're not really sure if they love you for who you are or what you have. So it's really hard judging people, you know. When it comes to love, honestly. So I'm asking you now, if I continue with this story, like, to what extent will you go in attempt to find real love? So there's this story about this man who moved to a village. Actually, this is just the sauce, some of the sauce in the bowl that I'm pouring in there, because I'm just a sauce head. Oh, I know I'm missing something. Oh. You'll see now. It doesn't taste the same. I gotta sprinkle some pepper in here, guys, because I can't eat with no pepper. I wasn't joking, guys. This is just hot pepper that I got from the African store. I cannot eat without it. There was one time that I used to actually keep a small bottle of this pepper in my bag. Whenever my friend and I, or my friends, like 4 of us, go eat at McDonald's or whatever, I'll bring the little bottle out and sprinkle it on my burger. And people in the restaurant always look at me like, why is she sprinkling on her fish? Is that cocaine? I'm like, is cocaine red to you? Is that drugs that she's putting in her food? People can be nosy. Anyway.
Good. Nice.
I think it tastes better with this pepper that I put in there.
So good.
Yeah. Now I'm really enjoying it. Ooh. Thank you. When this guy came into the village, he knew nobody. Ooh. I love coconut, but the first gas that gets in my throat kills me. Anyways, so in this village nobody knew this guy. So the first time he got into the village, he found a bricklayer job. I know this kind of jobs are not hard to find. He immediately found a bricklayer job and started working there. And obviously this shows that this guy is poor, right? He has nothing. Because if that's the first thing he's doing the first day he entered a new village, a new place, then you know he's desperate for money. So when it was time to go home, he was sitting there. He wasn't moving. And the guy he was working with was like, we're done for the day. Are you gonna go home, or like, what's up? And he's like, well, he just got into this village. He has nowhere to leave. He has no place to go. So one of the workers that they work together is like, oh, why did you leave where you were coming from? Like, where are you coming from? Like, it's from the neighboring village that was because of poverty made him like move out of the village that he was living previously to look for greener pasture, right? So he said he should try the village that's in now. Anyway, so one of the guys was like, well, if you have nowhere to live, you look like a nice guy, you can stay with me for the meantime. So he went home with this guy and they started living together, right? And they became really good friends. And they would go to work together and stuff like that. So what this guy is like, I'm always like, this guy is so lazy, man, because whenever he goes to work, like, he's always complaining about his back. He's like, this job is too hard, man. Oh, I forgot about those guys. The potato. Potato. Look at how, is this red or orange? Look at how red that potato is. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what half of this one is called, so I apologize. And it's really like, why do you always complain? Like, are you this lazy from where you're coming from? Meanwhile, there is this girl from the same village who lives with her uncle, and she's being maltreated by her uncle with her two cousins, because her uncle has 2 daughters and his wife. So 2 daughters, his wife, and him. So that's 4 people. But this other girl that I'm talking about, making 5, right? But the whole family maltreats this girl. Let's call her. Let's find a name for her. Tina. Okay, let me call the name of the girl Tina. So in Tina's house, she's been hated a lot. The only person that she's friends with is the younger daughter, because like I said, her uncle has 2 daughters, right? Her uncle, the aunt, the first daughter, they hate her so much. So they treat her like a slave. Like literally, not even like a house help, like a slave. One day, when it was time for her to go to school, her uncle was like, where do you think you're going to? Like, you can't go to school today. Go to the farm and go cut grass or go do some farm work or whatever. When you're done with it, then you can go to school. And then she started crying like, uncle, please, let me go to school. Like, and because of this reason that I've not graduated yet. I really like this potato. I think it has like sweet sauce on there, so it's Swedish. It's like regular potato but with sweet sauce, sweet orange sauce. But basically, she has to run to the farm, try to finish, and they give her a huge portion. I don't know if you're Nigerian, you will know. Even in school, sometimes they give us like grass to cut as punishment, and if you don't finish the portion they give you, you can't do it. You can't go home, or you're gonna get flogged. They'll flog your butt. So she was given a huge portion to cut. Like, if you don't finish it, you're not going to school. So the younger one that likes her, the younger of her cousins that likes her, she'll follow her to the farm to help her, because she's like, you're alone in this farm. What if all these crazy boys, because it's in the forest, literally, if all these crazy guys come and rape you or something like that, or something beat you or whatever. So she will follow her to the farm to finish her work. I love veggie rolls a lot. Oh yes, I'm coming. Who puts pepper on the veggie roll? Thank you. So this is just the sauce that comes with the rolls. Right, just like it in it like this, like put it on top of it and then bite it. Anyway, like I was saying, but by the time they're done finishing cutting the grass or whatever, it's already past school time. So many times they miss school, especially her. Tina, that is.
Which one of those stick over there? Please. Thank you.
Ooh. I don't know what kind of chicken it is. This girl, she's basically 20 years old and she's still in secondary school. And the reason is situation like that, like when she's supposed to be at school and she doesn't go, she misses school a whole lot. Even there was one time she came home crying that, and her uncle was outside when she came in. She was like, "Oh, Tina, why aren't you in school?" And she's like, "Oh, they sent me home from school because I didn't pay my school fees." And her uncle was like, well, He's like, I can't pay your school fees no more because you're not my daughter. So I'm only going to pay both of my daughter's school fees. So if you want to still go to school, you have to find something doing, or I don't know, quit or do something else with your life. So she started crying because this girl is really passionate about going to school. She really wants to be educated. And also, she also has a brother who doesn't live with them anymore because our same uncle sent him to another village to go learn mechanic. Rather than sending him to school, it's like he has no money to send him to school, so he sent him, I think he was like 14 years old. He sent him that young to go learn mechanic. And by the way, they're actually living in her parents' house, in her father's house. When China's parents died, her uncle basically left where he was living and moved into that house to possess it. So you're basically maltreating Tina in her own father's house. So things went on like this for a while. So now back to the new guy that came into the village. So one day he told his friend, like, listen, you're a nice person, you've helped me so much. I think it's time for me to get my own place. Well, I mean, he's poor, so the only thing he could do is like get one room. And his friend was like, why are you doing that? Like, have I done something wrong to you? If I've offended you, please, I'm sorry. They're like, no. The thing is, he's a grown-up man. What if his mom or dad wants to come visit him? Or in the future, if he finds a girl that he loves and he gets married, like, he needs a place of his own. But his friend is like, okay, I hear you, but where are you gonna get money to furnish your new place? Like, you basically have nothing. I'm like, well, so far he gets the room, like, the place will furnish itself. This is the rice and peas. I know you guys can probably can see because it's far. So his friend really laughs at him, man. He's like, so you're just gonna have an empty room? Like, why don't you just stay in my place? He's like, no, listen, leave me alone. Let me just move out. So as time goes on, I'll figure out things out. He got his place. He got his one bedroom in one really old house because that's what he can afford. It's really juicy and good. I can't go to eat Asian food without getting veggie rolls. I don't know why. Like, what is one of the things that you know you can't do without if you go to the Chinese food that you can't not but have to have? Like, you have to have it. Because I feel like my food is not complete if I eat Chinese food without veggie rolls. Oh my god, this girl really showed her trouble. Like, even when the older cousin, her uncle's daughter, she would ask her to sweep her room, wash her clothes. One day she washed her own clothes, and the first cousin, the first daughter of her uncle, was so angry, like, why didn't you wash my too? Blah blah blah. And they started fighting, and all the clothes that she had washed, she threw them all on the floor. So Tina is always crying. She cries like it's food. Like my language, they would say, oh, why homo be gari? Meaning she's basically crying all the time. So this kept going on and on. So that was basically her life. Like, she was not happy, always crying. And then one day but the younger cousin that I said loved her, oh my gosh, she's always fighting against her family. Like, you guys are evil. Like, why are you always maltreating this girl? Like, she's part of her family, basically. She even talked to her father, like, what has this girl done to you? One day, she actually has to go talk to her father and ask him and sit him down. The whole family, actually. She called the mother. And she's like, only freaking 18-year-old. She's the smartest of all the family, basically. She has more sense than all the whole family together. So she's like, why exactly do you guys hate this girl? Like, what has she done? Like, did I miss something? What was I saying? So, our father was like, well, if you don't know, then I'll tell you today. What had happened was, Tina's father, who happened to be his elder brother, our uncle's elder brother, Tina's father and our uncle were fighting over a land, a family land. And I don't know where I came from. People kill each other over land, even more than kill each other over land more than gold or money. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I couldn't understand when I was still young, right? So I was naive about a lot of things, but I've always been confused about how much story I heard about people killing each other over land. Oh my god, it's huge when it comes to land matters back home. And I kind of understand too, because land is very expensive. If you own a land back home, honey, you're rich. I mean, depending on what area, but I guess land in general, no matter where you are, it's money. But man, apparently Tina's father and uncle were fighting over a land. Tina's father was Tina's uncle was like, he was supposed to give me my own share, but it didn't. So it became a huge fight, a huge family fight. That they hated each other so much over this land matter. But the thing is, they didn't resolve it before Tina's parents died. They died on because they went for an engagement party in the neighboring country, in the neighboring village. On their way back, I think they had an accident and everyone in that car died. So that's how she lost her parents. So then after her parents died, our uncle moved into his brother's house, which is Tina's father's house, which is how come she's living with them now. And the father was like, well, because of the hate that he has for his brother, he's taking it out on his children, because he said he promised that his own brother is going to pay for all his sins. And that is exactly what he's doing with Tina. So the younger daughter was like, okay, Papa, listen, father, you know you're a terrible person, right? That girl, she speaks the truth. I love her so much. She speaks the truth all the time. So like, you're an evil person, you know that, right? So Tina's father did you wrong, and he's dead. So Tina has to suffer for it. Like, so now, Tina started, you know how her uncle stopped paying for her school fees and he said she has to do something. So Tina has to go talk to one of her friends to lend her some money to start a business so that at least maybe she'll be able to come up with her own school fees, right? And thankfully, look at the fish. Let me show you the other side. That looks so juicy. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mmm. It's about to taste 10 times better now. You watch. Mm-hmm. I told you. I told you. So, that's how Tina started granite. I know you guys call it peanut here, but we got it granite. But the kind of granite she sells, it's not the regular peanut. It's the one that's still in the shell. Oh my god, those peanut granites are so good back home. So you usually boil it. I think people usually boil it. Yeah, it's mostly boiled granite. So when you eat it, you basically crack it from the shell and then eat it. I missed out. That's one of the things I miss so much. I can't find it anywhere here in Canada. Even though there's an African store here, honestly, we don't have most of the things we have back home. It's never the same. No place like home, honey. The first day that Tina started her peanut business, obviously you hawk it. She's going to hawk it like a granite seller, you know. Hawking is when you, like how most African and Nigerian hawkers do. You put your whatever you're selling in the tray like this. You make a round like oshuka and put it on your head and hawk it around, walk around with it and advertise like, oh, not really, like she didn't say like that, but that's how usually people will like advertise. So the first day that she was supposed to hawk this granite, she brought the tray of granuts to the front of the house, and she was calling the younger cousin. That my sister, because she calls her sister, that's the only person that accepted her in the whole house. So come help me, this is my first day, come help me put this thing on my head while I go around and hawk my granuts. And then the sister was like, oh, let me pray with you before you go, because I pray that, because she's really lucky to have that girl, because she was the only one that kept her sane in the house. As she finished praying, that's how the elder cousin came out. Excuse me. The other cousin came out and was like, immediately dipped into the peanut tray. And she was like, if you start eating it like that without paying, how am I supposed to make profit? And this is my first day. You're starting me with this rubbish? And then the younger cousin was scolding her elder sister, like, you can't do that. Like, that's rude. And they were busy yelling at each other. The father came out and mother were like, why are you guys yelling? She's like, well, Bimbo took some of my granite without paying and blah blah blah. And then the father was like, and so? After all, she's your cousin, so she can eat whatever she wants. After all, you live in this house for free. So, as she was talking, the father also digged into the bowl of the tray of peanuts and freaking dug into the tray of peanuts, granuts. Also, the mother also dug. So before she was even gone for her first hawking business day, they've almost finished half of the tray of the peanut, of the granite. And the younger cousin was like, listen, you guys prepare for all of this thing that the granite that you're eating. This is our first day of business. My uncle was like, well, if we're gonna pay for this peanut, for the granite that we just ate, then that means from now henceforth, you must start paying for living in this house. You must start paying for your food. You must start paying me for everything you do in this house. I'm like, what the heck? Even though this is basically her parents' house. And then Tina was like, okay, no, uncle, don't worry. You don't have to pay. It's okay. Anyway, eventually she went she went hawking, and then on her way there, she stopped by at the like a really big, huge tree, and stood there and started crying. You know, this girl, like, she's been hurt a lot, like abused a lot. And so while she was crying, then this new guy that came into the village, let's find a name for him. What should we call him? Michael. As she was crying, and she put her back on the tree. While she was crying, Mike came by, like from behind somewhere. I don't even know where he appeared from, but I think he was also going down the street. So it was on the other side, and he saw this girl crying. And then he walked up to her and was like, I've been watching you all this while. You've been standing here for a while, actually crying a whole lot. That whatever is happening to you, it must be really bad. But immediately she saw him, the girl ran away. So this guy got home, Michael got home, and told his friend, like, listen, I found this girl today that she was really crying, but there's something about her though. Because obviously this girl is beautiful, like, she's really beautiful. I mean, not obviously, because you guys obviously don't know, but she was a beautiful girl. She was like, this girl is really beautiful, and there's something about her, even though we didn't really talk, but I think I might like her. And her friend is like, oh, there we go. You think you might like her, huh? Like, you don't even know this girl. Like, how do you already like someone that you've not even spoken to? I'm like, yeah, that's true, I agree. He did a little investigation about her. Another day when she was hawking peanut, he made sure he was on the same street that she was going to walk by to go hawk. He made sure he was there so he could buy granite from her. So maybe he'll probably have an opportunity to talk to her. So when he saw her, this guy will use most of the money he made in a day to buy most of her granites, just to know, so he could catch her attention and talk to her a little bit. And then it's like, so are you going to tell me what happened to you the other day that I saw her, you crying? But she never told him. She would just sell him the granite and then walk away. So after he's been bugging her for so many days, he eventually opened up. So they sat down under this tree and he opened up to him that, listen, this is what is happening to my life. So immediately she told him what happened. That girl is so weird. And she walked away and she's like, Tina, wait, but we're still talking. But like, well, she just, because I'm just opening up to you because you've been bugging me a lot. So it's not because of, like, I mean, like, me telling you is not gonna help me in any way or really help you in any way. So she walked away. She went home after that. So anyways, he went home again, told his friend, like, yeah, I really told you there's something about this girl. I'm really like her. I'm gonna ask her to date me. And then his friend is like, because when he described her, and his friend is like, oh, I know her, that is Tina. He's like, good luck if she even decides to even look at your face at all, because that girl doesn't talk to any guy in this village. She doesn't look at any guy's face, and obviously, you know, she's beautiful, so guys are always after her, but she doesn't give anybody no chance at all, like, no. So his friend is like, good luck if she even looks at you, talk less of talk to you, or talk less of becoming your girlfriend, because the Tina I know, nah, she's hard to get girl. As time went on, Tina and Mike became friends. And even though Mike, he's like, I really wish I could help you right now, but honey, I am so freaking poor. So there's no way even if I was going to help, because he really liked her. But this guy had only one chair in that one room that he freaking rented. Eventually, he summoned up the courage to ask her to be his girlfriend. And she was like, I mean, I like you. She first said no. But then as time went by, she was like, okay, I do like you too. You make me laugh. So this is what is going to happen. If I agree to be your girlfriend, it's going to be with conditions. We can't have sex. And the guy was so funny. He's like, well, it's okay. It's not like I'm addicted to sex. So we don't have to have sex. She's like, I'm serious. Like, we can't have sex because I'm a virgin. She's like, well, that works for me. Well, then that's fine. Like, okay, we don't have to. But then when she was like, oh, it's time for her to go, and he's like, can I get a hug? I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna work. It's like one of those guys that will say they're gonna do something, but they ain't gonna stick to it. When Mike and I went home and told his friend, like, oh, guess what? Tina has agreed to be my girlfriend, but however, we can have sex though. And his friend is like, what the bumble? Like, who has a girl as beautiful as Tina and won't want to have sex with her? Like plus, your relationship is not gonna last if you don't have sex with each other. And it's like, listen, it actually works for me because then I will marry her as the virgin. And the friend laughed like, yo, fool, marry Tina. Like, how are you gonna marry her? You only have one freaking single chair in your old freaking 1-bedroom. Like, you ain't got no money to even let me lecture you about. That's his friend telling him that. Let me lecture you about marriage, even though he wasn't married, so I don't know how he was lecturing her. Like, marriage is not as easy as you think. You have to be able to provide for her. You have to be able to treat her good, blah blah blah. You're like, yeah, thank you, marriage counselor. You know all of that even if you're not been married. Anyway, I am full, guys. So things went on this way. So one day she went to visit him in his house as well, and she did see where he was living. One freaking, like I said, she saw how old the building was. He had only one room. He had no furniture in the room. She obviously knows he's poor. And the first time she entered this place, she was like, well, this is welcome to my humble abode. And you're like, yeah, it's nice. I'm like, seriously? Who are you lying to? Even the guy was like, please stop patronizing me. Like, what is nice about it? There's nothing in this room, so why are you saying it's nice? Like, I'm serious. I mean, it's yours, right? It's 1 bedroom, but it's yours, so it's nice. So that took him back a little bit, because if there were other girls, they would be like, they ain't coming back there, or they'll call him names and walk out. But she was like, you know, very accommodating. She wasn't even looking at things that he has or he doesn't have. So it was noticing all these attributes about her. And the more he got to know her, the more he fell in love with her. The first day he actually told her to come into his house, she was like, no, I'm not going in there with you because I already told you no sex. He's like, no, trust me, I am not trying to force you to do anything, honestly, but I just wanted to see where I'm living. Because I don't want to lie to you, honestly, I'm really poor, so, like, this is my situation. She's like, yeah, did I tell you I was going to be your girlfriend because of what you have or what you don't have? I just like you because you make me laugh. You're actually funny, you know. You take my mind off what I'm going through with my uncle and the rest of the family. So, you know, I told you Tina is a beautiful girl. Suitors are always coming to our uncle to seek for a hand in marriage. One day, one guy came to seek for a hand in marriage. The uncle was like, you cannot, Tina is a no-go area. Because her father told me before he died that do not let Tina get married, because if she get married, whoever marries her, the guy is going to die the next day. If you see how this tutor ran when he heard that. The guy picked up his bag and ran like a freaking masquerade was chasing him, literally. Like, how you lie? That is our uncle's evil. No, honestly. Another tutor came. It told her, like, it told that one the same thing, but this one was like, well, so what do I do? Like, what kind of dummy is this? What kind of question is that? It's like, well, if you really want a woman, I have 2 daughters that you can pick one from the older one that I can give you her, or give her to you to marry her. And of course, this guy had a little bit of money on him. He's not like the typical village guys. Well, wasn't really rich, but he had something. So, and since the father already saw that this guy got some money, so he decided to give the first daughter to this guy in marriage. Even though the first daughter knew that they came initially for Tina, but like I said, they hate her so much. Just to spite Tina, The father didn't even wait for the guy to pay bride price of his first daughter. That's how bad it was. Because usually before you can marry anyone, especially in most culture, I don't know how it is with the Awusas, but I know for Igbos and Yoruba, because I'm Yoruba, right? You have to pay, we call it dowry. It's the amount of money that you pay in order to marry, even go forward with you even saying like you want to marry somebody. Like, he didn't even collect dowry from this guy. It was that desperate. Anyway, he gave his daughter hands in marriage, but the guy didn't even pay dowry, so it was kind of like a cheap woman, easy to get woman to him. So I don't think he really loved her much. But anyways, that's not a cup of tea. And another one came after he had given the first one out. He was like, he told them the same thing, but he's like, well, I have another daughter if you marry her instead of Tina. And he called the younger one. Oh gosh, you know that one, she doesn't joke. She'll tell you the truth. She blasted them off. She blasted her father off. She called the two ones names like, so my father, you came for somebody, but my father is introducing somebody else to you, and you're just sitting there, you don't even know what you want. Like, shame on you. You're older people, adults, and you don't even know what you want. She blasted them and called them freaking names, and then walked away. And then those ones carried their bags and then walked away. So, and Tina was hearing all of this, and then she started crying again, like, and started talking to the younger one, like, why are your parents like, why do they hate me so much? So she went to her boyfriend to tell Mike, which is Mike, what happened. And he's like, well, there's a reason for everything. The reason why this is happening to you is probably because of me, because if this doesn't happen, how do you think we're going to be together, right? So anyways, so this kept going on, and then after a while, they've been dating for a while, Mike was like, asked Tina to marry him. And the day he asked her to marry him, this girl didn't answer. She just got up and walked away. Like, so he was confused, like, is that a yes, is that a no? So she went home to talk to, excuse me, her younger cousin. And then she's like, well, if you like him, then why don't you marry him? But before you do, please take me to his house. So they went to his house, and when they got there, our cousin was like, after they left, like, are you sure? Like, do you not see this guy's circumstances? Like, will you be comfortable living with this guy? He basically has absolutely nothing. Even when they went to his house, the guy bought them food. He couldn't buy meat. And I don't know, even though in an African home, or in not even a home anywhere, like, if you eat food with no meat, that means you're poor to raise to power 10. Like, that's how poor it is. Like, meat is a very important part of food in Africa. Like, the bigger your meat, the richer you are, literally. And that's why sometimes some children do not even see chicken until Christmas Day. That's the only time some people actually eat chicken. And I'm not saying in general Africa, because people have this conception about Africa being, oh, they're so poor. It depends on where you're from. A lot of African families are actually rich and well-to-do people, but obviously talking about people in the village, I thought, don't be deceived, a lot of people in the village, some of them do have a lot of money too. Like, they have businesses and stuff. Anyway, that'll be a story for another day. But this guy couldn't buy them meat. That's how poor he was. They actually had to share the food and share Coke, like a can of Coke. So our cousin was like, this guy is so poor, like, there's not even no meat in this food. So like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry there's no meat in this food, but when I get home, I will give you my own meat. That's after, I think the guy went to get something in the room. That's when they started talking about this. And well, even after they left the guy's house, she asked her, like, are you sure you're gonna be comfortable living with this guy? She's like, well, I love him, so, and I really like him a lot, so him not having everything will not really bother me. Love is what really matters. I'm like, okay, you go, girl. So she went back to his house and told him that she was gonna marry him, and he was like, I hate pranks. Don't joke with me, because he couldn't believe that she was actually gonna marry him, because he also had the knowledge that a lot of suitors have been coming for her to marry her, because she's a really beautiful girl and respected girl, and she doesn't like sleep around like most of the village girls that when you throw money at them is a goodbye, they're gone. But she stuck with him even though he had nothing. So he didn't really think she was gonna say yes to his proposal. Anyway, she went back to tell him that yes, I'll marry you, but still no sex until marriage. And he said fine. So one day they were walking down the street. That's Tina and Michael. They were walking down the street, and then there was this car coming behind. Like, let's say they're walking like this. They're walking down from here to this is the street, right? They're walking down like this, and then right behind them a car was coming like that, and they started honking, pim 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 pim, and then they looked to the side. Actually, yeah, they stopped and looked to the side, and then the driver of the car came down and was like, spoke to the girl, spoke to Tina like, oh, hi, my boss would like to talk to you in the car. She's like, who is your boss? He's like, Prince of Womo Kingdom or something like that. They're like, okay, like, can't you see that I'm walking with another guy? Like, how rude. Why would you call a girl walking down the street and another guy will want to talk to her? Like, don't you think that's rude? It's like, if you're Prince, I don't care if he's a prince or whatever, tell him to come down and talk to me. Anyway, we go back to the car and told the prince. And the prince did come down to talk to her because she already knew what was going to conspire. Like, it's a man. Like, oh, you're such a beautiful woman. I really like you. I'll make you a queen. I'll take care of you. I'm like, how rude. If it was some other guy, they would have punched him in the face, either he's the prince or not. Like, that's really disrespectful. She got really mad and angry. And she's like, don't you ever do that again. And when she was about to walk away, the prince brought out a bunch, like a big bundle, not a bunch, a big bundle of money, cash, probably worth 50K. And so they're like, I told you I would take care of you, blah blah. You're working with this wretched, poor rag looking guy. Like, let me take care of you. Come and roll with people like us. She looked at the money and shook her head and walked away. While she was walking away, her boyfriend was like, Tina, come take the money now. I'm like, oh yeah, Mugbe. I'm like, first of all, I was so mad when I read that part. I'm like, I don't think this guy loves you for who you are. He was like, take the money, Tina, take the money. Like, we need the money. You know you need the money. So while the girl walked away, her boyfriend, Mike, ran back to the prince and said, please give me the money. I will talk to her on your behalf. So he got the money and walked away. And man, when they go home, when they go home, Mike gave her the bundle. Like, please take this money. You know you have to go back to school. Actually, wait, no, sorry. The money was about actually 100K, 100,000 was a lot of money because the bundle was really big. So it was about 100,000 naira because obviously he's a princess, he's rich, mighty rich. So she got mad, like, she's like, I thought you loved me. How will you go and take the money from the prince? What if he comes back and say he wants his money back? How are you gonna get it back? Blah blah blah. Like, she was so mad. And then but he convinced her, like, you know you need this money, you need to go back to school. I can't help you. If I had the money, I will help you to go back to school. But this, for the meantime, if the prince comes back to cause trouble, I will handle that. Let me handle that. I'm a man. Okay, but you just take this money to take care of yourself and to go back to school. So eventually he convinced her. She took the money and then went home. She was so happy. She washed her school uniform that night. She even told her sister, the younger cousin, what's happening. The younger cousin was so happy. Like, I'm so happy for you. You're going back to school. Yeah, your dreams are coming true, guys. I'm not eating anymore because I'm okay. Let me eat one more veggie rolls. I'm done, guys. Like, I'm freaking full. I still have some rice here too. The next day, Tina carried her bag with her cousin. He was ready to go to school, and her auntie was like, come, where are you going to? She's like, I'm going to school. What do you mean you're going to school? Who paid your school fees? Have you paid your school fees? She said yes. She's like, like, that's how they call their husband. I don't know if that means my husband or my love. Did you pay Tina's school fees? She said nope. And she's like, well, I don't remember paying your school fees either. So where did you find the money to pay your school fees? And Tina was like, she couldn't find an answer. So the younger cousin was like, well, she quickly jumped in, like, she got the money from her grandma business. And the mother and the father was like, there's no way the business is that lucrative that you made that amount of money to pay your school fees that fast. But anyway, she was like, no, that's how I paid it, blah blah blah. So they went to school. But while she was in school, her auntie searched her whole bag, because she's like, how did this girl get money? And she ended up finding the remaining 70k, because she's paid 30k out of the 100k, so she has 70k left. That's how Yawa gassed. Yawa don't gas. She showed her husband. I'm like, she's like, we've been living with a criminal in this house. Look at this amount of money that I found in the Stina's bag. The husband was like, how much? She said 70k. She's like, he's like, ew, 70k? How did she find that kind of money? That's a lot of money. So we waited for her to come back. Immediately she came back, they started asking her question. Tina, where did you find this money? So you've been prostituting and stealing, and they just made stuff up. Tina was like, no, I have not been, blah blah blah. The cousin was still on this, so it's from a peanut business, but that was too much money to make from a granite business. So they obviously didn't believe her. So they started tying her to a pole with a freaking rope and started beating her mercilessly. That's how the younger cousin ran to go to Michael's house and be like, there's trouble, please come save Tina. My parents is about to kill her. So they all ran. Michael and the friend and the youngest, they all ran back to her uncle's, to Tina's uncle, where they're still busy beating her and tying her up. That's how Michael rescued her. He called them names, he abused them. It even told the auntie, like, if you don't move back, I would decorate your face with slaps, because she was being really rude and pushy. And he was like, if you want to know, I gave her that money, so what are you going to do? You're like, you this riffraff, you have nothing. You wear rags all around the town. Where did you find a whole 70k to give her? She's like, whatever I do, like, they're like, what do you do? He's like, whatever I do is absolutely none of your business. Like, if you beat this girl again, there's gonna be trouble. That's how we saved her, man. Anyway, that went by. So remember the older cousin had married another guy, and she moved out to live with her husband, obviously. But then she came back home one day. Oh, before then. So again, while they were walking down the street, the same prince that drove by that day drove by again. So Mike spoke with the prince, and the prince was like, have you helped me speak with her yet concerning the fact that I want to marry her and make her my queen, the future queen of my kingdom? I'm like, well, I've been trying to talk to her. She's not listening yet, but give me time, because you know women, all they want is they want to know you can take care of them. He just made some cook and story up. Maybe if you give me money so I can shop for her, maybe, you know, she'll eventually listen. I'm like, tell him, Michael, you'll be thief. Again, the prince gave me another 100k for Tina to shop for her, 50k for you for your effort. And girl, like, oh, he had never seen that, like, he had never seen that amount of money before in his life. Again, when he got home, he gave Tina the money. And he's like, oh, where did you find this amount of money from again? And he told him that the prince gave me this money, asked me to shop for you, blah, blah, blah. And she got mad again, like, you went behind me to collect money. And he actually started talking to her about the fact that, please, I know I already asked you to marry me, please marry the prince. This guy is rich, he'll take you, because honestly, you're a very beautiful girl, you're ambitious, you got dreams. I can't help you fulfill your dreams because I'm too poor. Even though I love you to the extent that I want you to enjoy your life. That it's gonna hurt losing you, But if losing you is what's gonna make you have a really good life, then I don't mind losing you. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of scenario. So like, you know what? Never in your life talk to me again. I don't want to see your face anymore. I don't want to talk to you no more. This relationship is over. Michael like, hey, please, it's not that serious. So I was just joking. He just quickly switched it. Like, I'm just joking. I've never said that we was about to lose her. Like, she was basically done. She was mad. Don't ever go behind me collecting money again. Like, that's rude. So you only for me for money, to use me to collect money from the prince. And then, even though I love you, you're telling me to marry somebody. I was like, I don't understand you. I don't get you. Anyway, so he eventually did that shopping for her. So she and the younger cousin was checking out the clothes, even bought clothes for the younger cousin too. They started checking out the clothes out in front of the uncle's house, well, which is a house, but our uncle still lives there, you know what I mean? And then the mother was like, where did you find all these clothes from? She was like, well, they know him now by now, right? This guy, Mike, bought it from Tina and I. Like, where did you even find that money? That guy with his 2 chicken legs. Where did you find the money to buy these things for you? Anyways, that became a huge issue again, like he's always is with her. So the older cousin that got married came back, and then she saw those clothes and she put them on, because Tina and her younger cousin went out to do some errands or whatever. So when they came back, they saw the older cousin that came back from her husband's house wearing the same clothes. She's like, why are you wearing my clothes? The mother actually encouraged her to wear it. So like, if you like them, then wear it. There's nothing Tina can do about it. So that's how this girl rudely wore Tina's clothes without asking her or whatever. So Tina came back and the younger one was like, why are you wearing my clothes? It became this huge fight again. And the younger cousin was like, don't worry, I will show you Pepe today. I will show you Pepe. Don't worry, I'll show you I'm older than you. I'm better than you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a married woman now, okay? You have to respect me. You have to listen to me. So at night, that same day, that's how the older one packed all Tina's stuff and threw her out of the house. While all this chaos was happening, the father and the mother, they were just sleeping. They don't care about Tina. That's how he threw Tina out in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 2 hours with all of that stuff. Anyway, she had no other place to go than to go to her boyfriend's house. And the other one was like, I'm not sure. Are you sure you're going to be comfortable living with this guy? Because remember how you say you're not going to have sex with him, but now that you're sleeping in the same room, won't that happen? They're like, well, I really respect Michael. Like, Michael will not do anything like that. Like, I've studied him all this while now. It's not like one of these guys that are always all about sex. Like, he actually really truly loves me and respects my choice. So that's why she started living with Michael. So one day, she had a dream that she was crowned a princess and she started living in this big mansion and she married a prince. So she woke up and told her sister and her friend. Oh, by the way, Tina had 3 friends. Out of these 3 friends, only one is a really good friend, her best friend that really has Tina's best interest in mind, while the other 2 are fake friends. Immediately they smile with Tina. When she turns her back, they start talking rubbish about her behind her back. So I would say, in reality, Tina basically had only one genuine friend. So one day, Tina and her boyfriend were walking down the street, and then those 2 saw her, and they yelled at her like, Tina, out of all the men in this village, it's only this wretched ass man that you decided to hang out with. They were like, well, we can never be a friend if you're going to be hanging around this really poor wretched guy. Like, no. And the 3rd friend that really likes, that's the genuine one, started blasting those ones off. Like, well, how dare you? Like, how you judge her? She can do whatever she wants with her life. You're not her mother. Even if you're her mother, she's a grown-up woman. She can do whatever. Life kept going on. The prince kept coming back to see if Tina had accepted this proposal. Oh, and like I said, sorry, the reason why I spoke about her friend was because Tina dreamt that, you know, I said Tina dreamt that she was clothed in royalty and she became a princess, and those other friends came down to bow down for her, to her. When those friends heard about the story, they came like, Joseph the dreamer, Joseph the dreamer, you dreamed one stupid dream that you are going to be reality and we are going to bow down for you. That is never going to happen. And meanwhile, you know how I said the first cousin, the husband hadn't paid a bride price. The father is the one that kept chasing, kept asking that one, like, when are you paying this bride price? But the guy is like, he didn't really tell him to his face, like, I've already married this woman, she's already leaving my house. Why do I have to pay any bride price? You know, she's a free commodity now. And then also the cousin, she didn't go back to her husband's house because apparently, you know how I said the guy was well-to-do? Shortly after they got married, the guy's mother got really sick, so basically he spent all his money taking care of the mother, so he became poor. So the older cousin was like, well, I don't even think I want to marry him no more, because when they first married him, he had money, now he has no money. I can't go and be suffering, I can't come and die. So she told her mother that I want to come back home, and the stupid mother was like, yeah, don't worry, we'll talk to your father about it, so we'll see how that goes. So she didn't go back to her husband's house. She stayed at her father's house instead. And anytime she talks, she's always like, I'm a married woman now. I'm a married woman. Talk to me with respect. And the cousin and Tina will be like, if you're a married woman, what are you doing here? Then go to your husband's house. Like, don't come and rub your affair. You're married. After all, even the husband you said you snatched Tina's suitor. So what's the problem? Eventually, Mike and Tina picked a date. Oh no, sorry. So she also told Mike about the dream she had. Oh, and Mike flipped out. I don't even understand that guy, honestly. One minute he's talking to her about marrying the prince, the other minute he's mad that she's dreaming about the prince. Because when she told her, he was like, so now you're telling me that you want to marry, so you're thinking about the prince so much to the extent that you dreamt about him. So you want to go and marry the prince now, Abby? So like, no. The prince I even got married to wasn't even the same guy that I saw in my dream. It was just a regular prince that she doesn't even know him. It was just a prince. Eventually, Tina and Michael picked a wedding date. Oh, before then. So Mike took his father to go to Tina's uncle to ask for her hand in marriage. That he didn't give them an attention of the day. He's like, first of all, even if I wanted to give you Tina out, because his uncle doesn't like him, because you know he's always fighting for Tina and stuff like that, so they don't like him at all, and he doesn't like them because he already knows the kind of people they are. But whatever, he still had to follow tradition to go ask for a hand in marriage for my uncle, because that's the only family she has. Anyway, he didn't give them time of day. He's like, hey, I'm going to church, tell your mother that me. Anyways, he couldn't ask for a hand in marriage from the uncle, so they had to decide, like, listen, with or without these people, we're going to get married either way. So they eventually picked a wedding date. Meanwhile, the prince has not stopped bugging Tina to marry him. He's still sending money, still giving them money, and Tina gets scared each time because if Yawa trouble, which is trouble, happens now, like, how are you going to handle the prince? How are you going to give him all, because all this money we're spending? Anyways, so I'm all over the place with the story, sorry. So they eventually picked a date to get married. So Tina told her 3 friends, and the genuine one was so happy for her, because she asked them to be their ashwebi. Ashwebi means like a bridesmaid. The first one, the genuine one, was very happy about that. The other 2, they were like, hell no to the no. We can't be an ashwebi with you, especially with that ratchet, dirty, poor ratchet man that you decided to marry. Like, never. If we're ever gonna be an ashwebi for anybody, it has to be someone that at least has some money, you know, has some things, has some respect for themselves, not this dirty guy. because I don't want to be a bridesmaid in a wedding whereby there's gonna be no food. There's gonna be like poor beggars celebrating. Like, we don't want to do that. They basically laughed at her. So the wedding day now came, and it was so funny because, like, what were they putting the canopy in the, I don't know whose compound they were. I think it was her compound. Yeah, because remember she's living with this guy, right? And the way they build houses in the village, there's usually a lot of land like around the house that, you know, if you're going to throw parties, there's a lot of space where you can throw party at. So in that compound, the same compound that guy was living, because she went out, Tina did go out to finish the preparation for her wedding, that same wedding day. But when she came back, there were all this huge canopy in the backyard, in a compound. And she was surprised. She was like, where are all these people coming from? And they were like, we're here for Tina's wedding. Are you not Tina? She's like, yeah, I'm Tina. She's like, yeah, so we're here for your wedding. She's like, where, how, who hired you? So like, well, your husband told us to come over here to start with the preparation. So like, listen, I think this is a mistake, because the husband I'm marrying to, first of all, he won't have no money to hire all you guys, like, because they also like live bands, and they were setting up, you know, to perform and stuff. So she was so confused. She's like, the guy I'm married to is not that rich, first of all. Second of all, the way you're mentioning his name, like, oh, ask us to come here, like, he's not that much of a respected person, so I don't understand you. Like, he was so confused as to what was happening. Anyways, they got married, they got ready for the marriage. You know how the two friends didn't come, so she ended up having only one bridesmaid. Well, two, with her younger cousin, because even the older ones, her auntie, her uncle, they said they weren't even going to show up at the wedding because they're not interested. If they're going to go to anywhere, it would be a well-respected wedding. So they decided not to show up. So anyway, things started getting bigger and bigger. Live musicians started coming, big people started coming, cars left and right, and she was getting dressed inside. So even the younger cousin, she was so shocked. She's like, what is happening here? When she saw what was happening, she ran back home to her mother and father. That is Tina's uncle. Papa, Mama, come and see. Tina's marriage is huge, bigger than anyone's expectation, bigger than even when my sister got married, bigger than anyone that I got married in this village. Because there's canopies everywhere, there's a lot of people everywhere, cars everywhere, that she doesn't even understand. Even Tina doesn't understand what's happening. Tina's uncle and auntie were surprised. They're like, what are you talking about? Stop talking rubbish. Well, where would there be a lot of people? Where would she find people from? Tina doesn't know anybody. Neither does the poor, wretched, stupid guy. Let us come and see for ourselves. So they all ran, because obviously it's a small village, so distances are not that far. So they left everything they were doing, they ran to the location. Also, the two stupid friends, the two fake friends, they were like, let's go be nosy and see what is happening, to go laugh at her, because we know there's only going to be two people there with freaking rags. She's going to be probably wearing rags. It's going to be fun, it's going to be comedy. Let's go watch. I'm not even going to get dressed. They didn't even get dressed for the wedding, because they're like, we can't even call it a wedding. Let's just go laugh at her. Let's go make a mockery of her. Because even before they got there, because I don't know if you know about African parties, especially Nigerian parties, if there's a party going on in the 6th street, you're going to hear it here. Because the loudspeakers are gangentious, like, it's usually like a nuisance kind of activity. I won't even lie to you, because even sometimes they will block the road. That's how serious sometimes it's. Maybe not the main road, but like a street road, they will block it off to party. That's how we don't joke with our parties back home. So with the loudspeaker, you can already hear the musician playing from miles away. And they were like, there's no way that is Tina's party, no way. But the musician kept mentioning Tina's name, you know, and stuff like that, to praise her and stuff. And they were like, no, it can't be Tina's party. They ran, they couldn't wait. When they got there, their jaw dropped. They're like, no way. Like, what is happening? And then, before they know it, they just saw like so many cars, the same kind of cars, like 4 coming in, and there was chaos everywhere. People were like, who are these people? How did she know these people? What's happening? People come, even Tina that was dressing up, she ran out from the room she was dressing as to come out to see who's coming, who has all these fancy, beautiful, fancy cars that are full at the same time. It's kind of like when a governor is kind of moving. I don't know if you know, back home when governors, not like here that when your mayor is in a freaking car, you won't even know at all, honestly. Like very quiet, like regular people. Back home, no. If you're a governor, you have 10 cars following you. And they'll also be siren like, I'm coming, baby, baby. It's ridiculous. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like the whole world basically has to stop for the governor to pass by with 6 or 7 entourage with tinted glass, bulletproof. Like, oh my gosh, you don't know. So it was this same thing that was happening here, except that it wasn't blowing a siren, but these big fancy cars drove in. So everything just stopped. Everybody, I mean the singers, the dancers, the musician was still performing, but everybody else stopped to watch, like what's happening. And then the door opened and there's this shiny, the first thing they saw is a shiny, rich, leathery black shoe that stepped out of the car. Okay, which it ended up being a king of Omoyi kingdom or something like that. She was like, okay, first of all, why is the king here? Like, why is the king? What have I? Oh my god! She was like, yeah, I told my boyfriend not to collect money from the prince. Now the king is here to collect the money back. She thought that was what was happening. And then while she was still worried about this, another shiny, beautiful, handmade leather shoe stepped out of the second car that was behind it. That's because that's the first thing he offers. I don't know why they get off the car like that, honestly. I don't know. They're forced to take their leg one by one, first leg out. I was like, who is that coming out now? It ended up being Mike. Apparently Mike is a prince. So, and you know, when he went to ask for Tina's hand in marriage, when he went to uncle's place, the king actually dressed down like a commoner to ask for Tina's hand in marriage from my uncle. I'm like, I was impressed by that, because a lot of kings back home won't do that, to stoop so low to go ask for a commoner, just a commoner girl married. But she saw obviously how that Tina is a really good girl, and she saw how much his son loves Tina and how Tina also loves her son, so that's why he agreed to do that. So all this while, apparently Mr. Mike is the prince, who in an attempt to find real love, because he's tried so many times, most of the girls that he found only wanted him because he was a prince, so he was tired of it. And besides, even though some of them they still kind of said they love him, but he couldn't really judge because of what he had gone through. So he's thinking, I don't even really know if you love me for who I am or because I'm a prince. So, but he really wanted true love, hence why he decided to move from his kingdom, stoop so low like someone that's really poor, and move to this on the other country. Come and see the uncle and the families and the fake friends, come and see their mouths on the damn floor that just dropped. They couldn't believe it. They were flabbergasted. They were what other word can I use? They wished the ground could open up and swallow them. That's how the prince and the king, they brought Tina clothes to changing. The lady was dressed in royalness. Like, her wedding was the most beautiful thing they've ever experienced in that village. Like, what are you talking about? Like, kings, prince, chiefs, live musicians, food unlimited. That is when they say, when the Lord places how is the word? When the Lord returned the captivity of Zion, they were like those that dream it. I don't know if that even applies to you. It's like when the Lord set a table before Tina in the presence of her enemies. Yes, that's the appropriate verse. Our uncle, this is all it was. All the while. The idiot couldn't even move from where he was standing, because he was standing so far. He couldn't move closer. He couldn't move to go home. He was just too shocked. Because Tina is a good girl now. She called her uncle to come sit with them because that's her only family. And to actually follow custom and tradition, he has to be there. So that's how he eventually was the one that gave her out in marriage. But even during that day, Tina didn't, because of the way he had been treating her, maltreat him. She still respected him. She knelt down when she was supposed to kneel down, gave him money when she was supposed to give him money. Anyway, that's how Tina moved to her husband's house, which is obviously the palace. So her dream was true. It's just that, but she didn't know which prince she was getting married to. Anyways, so when she got to the palace, she saw the freaking guy, the prince, the one that was chasing her all this while, was actually one of the prince's maids, or what do they call them? Her right hand men, or whatever. All those men that follows the prince everywhere. She was like, "You, it's you again. Aren't you the one saying you're the prince of a mobile kingdom, or whatever they call it? And you've been asking for my hand in marriage. So after all this while, you're just a maid to my husband." You were like, "Well, it's not my fault, so please don't be mad. It was the prince's idea for her to act like that, to see if she was going to fall for the other prince because of money, or if she was only interested in money. She was like the other girls that he had experienced that only wanted her for money, wanted him for money. So it was kind of part of a test to test her. And it also, besides that, just for him to also know her, if she's actually really fit to be a future queen, because those are one of the attributes you need to have to be a future queen. And you can't be greedy, you know. But guess who came to visit her after a while? The uncle came begging, like, "I'm so sorry, my daughter. Me. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, seriously now? Now she's somebody, now you want her, huh? Oh, you're really my..." That was the first time he's ever calling her a daughter, his daughter. Because all this while he's always like, "She's not my daughter, that's right, she's my brother's daughter. She's not my daughter, so I can't pay her school fees, I can't take care of her. She's not my daughter." I'm like, oh my god. She's just a really forgiving person, honestly, because she ended up forgiving him. Well, she was mad, but her husband, the prince, told her to forgive him. Like, by God is by God. Look at how God changed her life now. Guess who also came to beg? The two stupid friends. You remember how she said in her dream she saw them bowing down to her? They came back to bow and beg her. She was so mad. She was like, "You guys hurt me so much, even though I didn't do anything wrong. I knew you guys hated me. Still, I still invited you to be my bridesmaid." But her husband was like, "Well, God has really blessed you. Just forgive them and just, you know, put them in their place and stuff like that." So that's how things changed for Tina. She went from absolutely rags to riches, to people are bowing down, and you know, like, she went like from really down low to high. So that's what I was asking, like, to what extent will you go to find real love? Like, and this is also based on true life stories. Like, there's some people that actually have done that, like rich people, like well-to-do, know people that moved to another country or another town that no one knows them, to find real love. If you were a prince, will you stoop that low to even be a bricklayer in order to find love? And you know what's funny? The friends were like, "Oh, now any guy that asks me to marry him, I don't care what he does, if he's a bread seller, granola seller, epa seller, even if he sweeps or scrubs the floor, I will not discriminate again, I will marry him." I'm like, "Oh, day. What if he's a lazy guy?" I hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, until I see you, remember, life is what you make it. # positive vibes. Only. I love you.